He went to hit me in the face. I pressed charges and Derek was arrested. The final straw was Derek dropping his pants in front of my children and mooning them. And 4 months later, we were divorced. After 6 years, Derek convinced me that he was really sorry for all the things that he had done, so we got remarried. I was doing everything I could to try to make him happy. Nothing was ever good enough. Some of the same things from the first time started to reappear. Derek lost interest in the bedroom. He even told me, it's not happening, you're just gonna have to handle things yourself. I knew something was going on. So I hacked his Facebook account only to find that he was sending private messages to women. So a friend of mine and I made a fake profile. Within 15 minutes, he took the bait. Derek's waiting at the bar to meet this girl. He turned white as a sheet when I walked in that door. All he could say was that he knew it was me the whole time. He's such a piece of The guy that I once thought was my Prince Charming turned into a nightmare. I couldn't take it anymore, and Derek and I divorced a second time.
After 2 failed marriages, Gwen is still not deterred and says she is still madly in love with her 2-time ex.
Right now, Derek and I are not married and still continue to argue on a daily basis. He continues to tell me he loves me, only to find out it's the same as always. One lie after another. Not only is Derek trying to meet up and have sex with people through Facebook, email, and Craigslist, he's also on multiple websites. I can't believe he's sitting there trying to convince me he loves me and still wants us to be a family while he's out anybody and everybody that will pay attention to him. The only way that I would ever consider giving him another chance is if there was some way he could prove to me he didn't have sex with all these people. I don't know what more I could do to show him I love him. I have done everything possible, and it's never enough.
Well, Derek says Gwen is a vindictive, sadistic succubus who is just out to ruin his life. Charming, right? But he says if she could stop being that way, he would love to be a family again.
Out of the 3 wives I've had, one of them was the good one, and it wasn't Gwen. I got remarried to Gwen because I was lonely. I wasn't sold on getting married the second time, but we have a child together and I was trying to make it work. A marriage is supposed to be all about give and take. Well, I gave and she took. Gwen might tell you that she's not controlling, but she controlled every aspect of my life. She pretty much controlled everything except when I shut the bathroom door. She was paranoid about me looking at other women, constantly accusing me of cheating. Actually, I did attempt it a time or two, but I never went through with it. I feel that I put more work into the marriage than she did, including in the bedroom, because I tried a lot harder to please her than she tried to please me. She would call me a fairy boy, a pansy boy. During the breaks of our marriage, she would tell me that her boyfriends were younger than me, better in bed than me. She'd call me the 8-minute man. She'd talk about the size of my skull. She would call me egghead, football head, and conehead. I've had many nicknames for Gwen. I've called her a sadistic succubus because she sucks the life out of me. I've called her a drama mama because she's never met a problem that she can't make worse. Gwen has told me when she's done with me, no one's going to want to have anything to do with me. If we both got our acts together, I could see a point where we might get back together, but I don't know if we'd ever say I do again.
Is it your belief that there's just not another person on the globe that would love you?
No, I don't believe that at all.
So why him? Why do you keep coming back to this person that you say has beat you, robbed you, lied to you, stolen from you? Why him? I mean...
We have a daughter together, and he messages me every day.
Okay, well, how about you? You say she's a sadistic succubus? I mean, come on, we've gone to biblical here. She's so bad that you've got to go to biblical terminology. What do you... Come on, why her? Do you think there's no other person in the world that will tolerate you?
No, I don't think that at all. I love her. I love our family. I don't love the
You love someone that will absolutely suck the very life energy from your body.
We have had 12 years of good and bad. She seems to only remember the bad, and I like all the good that's happened.
We did a field shoot with you, right?
Right.
Did you borrow my staff member's phone to call your ex-wife to make a lunch date?
Yes, I don't
Because you didn't
know
want it
anyone.
on your phone, so you borrowed my staff member's phone?
I
Did you know about that?
I did not, but I'm not surprised.
He
Now-
borrowed my staff member's phone to call his ex-wife to make a lunch date
Typical staff.
after our field shoot.
We were-
Yeah, and he doesn't like to leave trails, so he's
we
good
were-
at deleting and stuff.
runs in the family, doesn't it?
There's nothing
Are
in
you
that.
children? What do you...
Ask her if she's ever been wrong in an argument in the last 12 years.
Absolutely.
Don't tell me what to ask her. I'm asking you. I feel like I'm in a junior high lunchroom here. What are we
It's very-
doing?
I came because she asked.
You have a child between
I
you
agree.
here.
And that's all I want to take care of.
Y'all were affected by Katrina, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to hear that. Your house was damaged dramatically. You got a $65,000 insurance
Yep.
settlement, and you say he took off with it.
Not all of it. We had purchased some new furniture and stuff like that.
You say he took off with the majority of it,
Yeah.
and he was gone for like 3 months?
Yes.
Just, I mean, like, left without saying anything, or what?
Yeah, he had gone to work, just never came back.
Is that true?
Yes, it is. Did not take the money, but I did leave.
Did you or did you not take a significant portion of the insurance settlement?
No,
Okay, why does she say you did?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. She knows how to spend money. I'll tell you that right now. She spends a
Why
lot.
did you leave without saying anything?
Because in the past, when I've said things, I've been put under 72-hour evaluation and had the police called on me.
If y'all are just going to come up here and you're going to say A and you're going to say B and nobody's going to tell me the truth, you're just wasting my time. I mean,
right.
come on, let's be honest.
Yes.
Let's be honest. Do you really want to figure out some way for this relationship to either find a healthy path or to at least co-parent for this child?
Yes,
We need to be able to
definitely.
co-parent.
I
You've
totally
got to
agree.
stop all of this childish bickering. Let's take a break here. Next, why after calls to the police and trips to the dentist to fix her broken teeth would Gwen ever consider remarrying her ex? We're going to talk about that when we come back.
Our fights have been vicious. We know how to push each other's buttons. We get in each other's face.
It's like he's fixing to beat your ass in a bar.
Since Gwen and I got divorced 3 months ago, she's come after me for money. That's what it's all about. She told me she was going to take care of the divorce and had a lawyer. I couldn't afford a lawyer. So I allowed her to get the amount set. Right now I'm paying $800 a month child support. The reason that is because they lied to the courts about how much money I make. I don't mind paying for my own daughter's child support, but I am not paying alimony to her.
Well, till death do us part. Those are vows most couples take seriously, but Gwen and Derek have broken that sacred promise to each other, not once, but twice. Now, today, both say they are still in love with each other. Now, I want to ask my Twitter followers if they think Gwen and Derek should get back together, just move on, go their separate ways. I just kind of want to hear what you think. So tweet hashtag back together or hashtag move on. We'll talk about the results at the end of the show. Gwen says she lives with horrific memories and a physical reminder of why a third time might not be a charm, yet she says she just can't cut Derek loose.
In the 12 years that Derek and I have been together, he's hit me 3 times. The latest time was when we were arguing over my son having not cleaned his room. Derek followed me outside, bowed up in my face, screaming at me, calling me a It's like he's fixing to beat your ass in a bar. I slapped him in the face, and he punched me, busting my eardrum and breaking my tooth.
Our fights have been vicious. We know how to push each other's buttons. We get in each other's face. I've put my hands on her, which I know is wrong, and she's hit me a time or 2.
When Derek tells me that if he finds out I'm being intimate with anyone, that he's going to do something really bad, it makes me believe he's going to kill me.
Okay, are you pursuing her to get back together?
Yes.
Okay, so you are after her. You do want to reconcile this relationship.
Yes.
Why do you badmouth her so much?
The same reason she badmouths me.
But no. Do you find pleasure in tearing her down?
No.
It's called leveling. Leveling in relationships happens for one of two reasons. You either want to tear the other person down because you feel really low and you want to tear them down to your level, or you inflate yourself really unrealistically because you see them being above you. So you can level by either artificially inflating your ego or tearing them down to where you really believe you are. It's called leveling.
Right.
So if you're constantly leveling in a relationship,
Yes.
then that's very unhealthy.
Of course.
So if you're constantly tearing her down and criticizing her, then that just tells me that you must feel really badly about yourself.
I do have a low self-esteem, always have. I love her. When we fight, we both tear each other down to hurt each other. I might say something ugly to her. She's going to say something ugly to me. Both our feelings are going to get hurt.
And are you being honest with her when you say you want to reconcile and want to heal this relationship and have a quality marriage and a quality family?
Yes.
You mean that?
Yes.
She can count on it because she says she doesn't trust you.
I don't trust her.
I didn't ask you if you trust her. I said, she says she doesn't trust you. I don't trust her. I didn't ask you to tear her down.
No.
I asked you if she can trust you.
Yes.
He's been sending you text messages, right? Mm-hmm. You shared some of those with us. My love for you is still real. Love doesn't give up. I miss you holding me. You're still my whole world. I wish I was living with you. All I wanted to do was hear your voice. You've been saying those things to her.
Yes.
During that same time, you've actually been on Craigslist during that same period of time, posting up saying, Daddy is here. This is how you refer to yourself on Craigslist. Professor here, close by, room 216. While you're telling her how much you love her, you need a massage by an attractive woman. This is on Valentine's Day. And all the while, I'm sorry, I really wish we could move away as a family. I wish you would call me, please. Please, God, talk to me. I don't know how much of this I can take. My heart hurts every day. Please answer me. I'm dying. I sleep alone every night in my bed. I reach out for you most nights. Well, except this night.
Right.
Except... Unless they didn't get the room 260, did this not work out?
No.
So how can, which is it? It's this or it's this, and there's more.
Right.
You're telling these people you got a master's degree. Actually, you don't, do you?
Nope. I am 2 classes away from it.
I'm 2 classes away from it.
You're 2 classes
Right.
away, right? Because you're the one that did
Took all of his classes for
all his classes online,
She did.
according to you. So you need to get busy
Right.
Right.
because he's claiming the degree that you haven't finished yet. And you might, these are all blurred out, but these are dating sites where you've got inbox activity from these women in these dating sites, and then you've got you writing to this woman, I forgot to ask, is that your boyfriend? She says something. She says, actually, kind of, it's complicated. It always is. Well, then I won't tell you that you could come see my room again anytime you like, but you can. And she says something. Well, good, you look fabulous. No, I meant when I grabbed you to hug. So you are making some contacts out there, right?
Yes.
So which is it? You're either, she can either trust you, count on you, sincerely you want to do this, or you want to do this sort of kind of while you're playing on Craigslist?
I seriously want to get back with her. She can seriously trust me, but I'm not going to wait around for her to decide to try. And it's not just me trying, it's both of us trying.
What's your reaction to all that? This is during the same period, Valentine's Day.
This stuff I've tried to explain to him for years, and I'm overreacting. I'm being jealous.
Well, you know, he's not really a big puzzle to me. You, on the other hand, this is a puzzle. Gwen says she found something so disturbing and disgusting on Derek's phone that she now fears for their 10-year-old daughter's safety. But yet she still just keeps leaning into this. We'll talk about what could possibly have her so concerned, but yet still here after the break.
I found some emails that he had sent to this guy talking about having sex. I also found some gay porn. He gave them his hotel room number as well as the phone number. And the guy replied, "Hey, hit me up. I'm a guy on the down low. I would love to come by," and then responded with sexual acts being performed.
I was drunk at a hotel trying to pick up a girl on Craigslist. I was on the Women for Men's site, and I sent an email to someone.
It was disgusting. I was in shock.
There's no way I knew it was a guy.
Derek insists his two-time ex-wife, Gwen, that's right, they've been married and divorced twice, will make up any lie she can in an attempt to ruin his life. Gwen says she can't help it if the truth makes Derek look bad. In fact, she says there is another secret Derek is hiding, and it's the one that has her the most concerned.
I also found some very disturbing websites that Derek had been watching porn on that included incestual porn with brother, sister, father, daughter, as well as just old man and teenage girls. When I confronted Derek, he insisted that he had only clicked on it by accident or that he didn't look at the title and what was involved. Later, he tries to use the excuse that it has a disclaimer stating everybody in it is over the age of 18. It made me think about the emails from Craigslist where he had referred to himself as daddy. Not only am I disgusted by it, it puts me in great fear for the safety of my children, especially my two daughters.
Okay, if that's true, and do you confirm or deny that?
I deny it.
You deny it. So you haven't been looking at incest porn?
No.
How'd that get on your phone?
Because when I look at certain websites, there are more than just one or two different types. And when you see it on there, and when you're not getting pleased at home, men find a way to please themselves sometimes. It just got on there. If you click on something, it's there. And you even if you go back and click off of it. So I did look at porn, but it was not that. That is disgusting, and it's sick to even try to bring up on national TV.
It's the truth. And it wasn't just like it was just one of them. There was like multiple pages.
Because you won't.
We hadn't had sex in 2 years. What are you talking about?
2 years?
Yes.
Grow up.
Grow up.
It's like trying to talk to an 8-year-old, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I can't have a conversation with him because
not
it
when you
comes to
lie.
this.
We had sex while the divorce was going on. And if the judge found out, it would be thrown out. I lived at home until February, the first week of February, which is against the law.
You were supposed to be paying rent and you didn't do that.
Right. I've got receipts showing I did.
Really?
Really?
Where did you get those from?
Please stop this.
Yes. Please stop. So father-daughter porn just got on your computer or phone? It just got on there?
I told you, I don't enjoy father-daughter porn, brother-sister porn, whatever. That's disgusting. I don't look at the titles. All I do is look at the ending.
Look at the ending?
Right, the ending is what counts.
I think I just threw up in my mouth. So what you're saying is you looked at it without realizing what it was.
Yes, sir. That's disgusting. Now, I will say one thing. She knows when I was 19 years old, I went on a trip by myself. I was running out of gas, and I picked up a hitchhiker, and I was raped. She has told her friends that I had a boyfriend in Florida. Don't lie.
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are.
You're the only one that's mentioned that.
Right.
If you're gay or bisexual or questioning or whatever, then that is a legitimate question.
Right.
You may have.
No.
But if you're looking at child pornography,
That's disgusting, no.
that's a problem. Do you believe that he is having gay hookups?
I do. I really do. And that's why I told him.
You're sick.
I feel like, I guess because of our daughter, that I have an obligation to try to get him as much help as possible, because I do want her to have a dad, but I'm scared for her to be around him. And my oldest daughter, from my first marriage, refuses to be around me.
You think it is your obligation to help. If you believe everything you're saying is true, Mother Teresa would kick his ass to the curb.
Probably so.
If you believe what you're saying is true,
I need him to let me go. He will not let me go.
why is it up to him to let you go? Why is it up to him to determine what you
and if I
do?
don't answer, he drives by my office. I don't want that. I don't want you circling in front of my office 10 minutes before you know I'm supposed to get off work.
When you told me we were going to meet and talk after work.
No, I hadn't.
Okay, I put together a resume for each of these that I want to look at in terms of what they say about each other that perplexes me as to why they want to continue in this relationship, and we're going to look at it right after the break.
I've seen the bruises on her face. Gwen has to get away from him. If she doesn't, my biggest fear is that I will get a phone call one day that she didn't show up for work and I'll find her dead.
I hacked into his Facebook account only to find him apologizing to a girl for having sex with her when she was so drunk that she didn't even remember the incident. In my opinion, it's rape. Derek raped someone. This is a message that was on Derek's Facebook. Derek says, no, I'm the one that should be embarrassed. I should have just put you in bed because she was so drunk she didn't even remember him having sex with her. Being a woman, if I'm so drunk to the point that you have to pick me up and put me in bed and I can't consent to having sex with you, you've raped me.
Did you take advantage of that girl?
No, we were both drunk. She pulled me into the bedroom. I had no idea that she was so drunk she wouldn't remember because I was drunk. And she's not a judge, jury, or lawyer to tell me if it's rape or not.
Okay. Well, what were the threats you were just making against her at the break?
I told her that she's going to ruin another marriage by bringing her friend into this.
You are
I don't know
sick.
how you can be friends with
You
someone.
are sick.
How you can be friends with somebody who would allow that to happen.
You are just determined to hurt me by hurting anyone around me, just like you did the kid.
I didn't bring her here. You did.
She came, so I wasn't.
We're not going we're not going to leverage you with your friend.
You have called me a road whore for years, and you want to let's take a look at what the hell you were with the other night?
What are you doing? 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 What are you do
to hurt me and to bring me down any way you can. And that's the reason I don't have anything in me to tell you no. It's because I don't know that I'm any better than what you've ever told me.
You don't have to tell me no. I give up.
Becky says what she has seen and heard during her 3-year friendship with Gwen is shocking. She wants her best friend to sever all ties with Derek forever. Let's look at this tape.
I believe that Derek is shady. He's self-centered. He's a narcissist. He's just not a good person. I keep my distance from Derek. I would rather not engage in any kind of conversation or any kind of relationship with him. Even though I've never seen Derek hit Gwen, I've seen the bruises on her face. Derek and Gwen's relationship is extremely toxic. Derek is like a cat that plays with a mouse right before they kill it. Gwen has to get away from him. If she doesn't, I don't know how it's going to end. My biggest fear is that I will get a phone call one day that she didn't show up for work and I'll find her dead.
Becky, hello.
Hey.
Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
You're concerned about Gwen, correct?
My concern is for Gwen and the children.
And what did you want to say about what's been said so far?
They are toxic in every sense of the word. It's both, but I've seen just yesterday 27 emails of I'm done, go to hell, I'm not speaking to you anymore, I'm sick of you, to, oh, please come have lunch with me, let's have coffee and not talk. It's like flipping a switch, and good Lord, how much can somebody take? And it's just, they're toxic. It's crazy. This has got to be over for the sake of both of them, but for the sake of the children. This is crazy.
Mm-hmm. And why do you have such negative energy about her?
You love to hurt me in every way possible.
It has nothing to do with
and
you.
you hurt the people I love just to get to me and do this.
You say, I need more proof.
No.
No, that's what you said.
I want to know the truth, yes.
You want to know the
lied to
truth.
me
What
so
is
many
it
times.
you don't know that you need to know? Based on what you've told me, not that he agrees with all of this, I've kind of put together a resume, a husband resume based on what you've told me. You've said he is an abandoner, a liar, a thief, an adulterer, a physical abuser, a child abuser, an emotional abuser, a verbal abuser, a solicitor for sex, a rapist, a pornographer, and has shown very questionable behavior with subcategories in everything. This is the man that you say that you still love. So the question for me is, and you say, I need more proof.
No.
No, that's what you said.
I want to know the truth, yes.
You want to know the
lied to
truth.
me
What
so
is
many
it
times.
you don't know that you need to know?
He keeps telling me that I have a duty to believe him because he was my husband. I'm supposed to believe him and not what I see with my own eyes. And I'm
Never.
like, how in the hell can you say that?
Never said that.
Okay, but no, talk to me. Talk to me. Don't talk to him. You say you need proof. What the hell is it you don't know that you need to know? Tell me what you don't know that you need to know.
I need to know if he can be helped so he's safe to be around our daughter. That's it. I'm not in love with him. I love him,
Okay,
and I'm tired
you're
of feeling an
changing your
obligation.
whole story
No,
from when you
I love
from
him.
before you
I
got.
do love him, and I'll tell him that right now. I miss being married. I miss having the good moments that we did have.
All right, let's look at the resume that you've given me about her. You have said, the wife's resume, that she's a lawbreaker, that she's hacked into everything, she controls every possible thing, that she's money hungry, that she is obsessive, she sends you 40 emails a day, that she's abusive, that she has hit you, that she's a child abuser, that she's poisoned your relationship, that she slept with a cop on the porch at 3 a.m. with you in the house, that she's a saboteur. She sent naked photos of a man, that she's tried to get you fired 4 times. She's lied to the police, that she's talked to your family, That she, I mean, all of these horrible things, you just go on and on and on. So what is it you need to know?
I never said she slept on the cop. On the
Yeah,
porch
you
of the cop.
did. You've accused me of it before.
No,
Don't
I
come in
said
here saying
it's-
you didn't tell them that.
I didn't tell them that. I said that it's like she could, because I'm asleep and she stays up all night, and she could be sleeping with a. She stays up all night and she could be sleeping with a cop.
Oh my God.
She dated cops while we were apart.
I dated one cop.
Right.
And I had filed for divorce. This is like, because you
All right,
haven't
let's
come to
take
see
a
me
break.
or
Something
cop.
both Gwen and Derek need to see. I'm hoping it could be the light bulb moment they both need to have after the break.
Trying to co-parent with Derek is a nightmare. I don't trust him around my children. My kids from my first marriage hate him. They've heard everything he's said to me, and they want nothing to do with him.
Gwen has poisoned my relationship with my 2 stepchildren. My oldest stepchild said the next time he wants to see me is when they put me in the ground.
I worry about the way he manipulates our daughter. It scares me because I don't want her to be anything like him. Derek is such a drama queen. He tries to manipulate me by threatening to harm himself. One night, he told me he had a gun in his mouth, and if I didn't come talk to him, he was gonna kill himself.
I did say I had a pistol in my mouth, which I did not. I love life. I'm not ever going to hurt myself.
He said, well, you knew I was joking. Who the hell jokes like that, Nobody. No one in their right mind makes a joke about having a gun in their mouth. No one.
That was another horrible event that Gwen and Derek's child and stepchildren have witnessed. You guys, you're wondering whether you should be together or not. This house represents your first marriage. Maybe it was built on a semi-strong foundation, but then you went to work on it, didn't you? Abandonment, lying, stealing, cheating, abuse, pornography, neglect. I mean, it just takes a toll, doesn't it? It just tears a house down. And now this is what your second marriage foundation looked like. This is where you just started. So you went to town on this marriage. Abandonment, lying, stealing, cheating, abuse, pornography, neglect. So this is what your third attempt at a relationship would start with. The divorce rate in America is about, mid-30s, 35, 36, 37%. For second marriages, it gets on up there, 50, 60%. For third marriages, the divorce rate gets on up really high, 80, 90%. You got 5 divorces between you.
Mm-hmm.
The chance of this working.
I've got 3, you got 2.
Oh, there's no chance of her working. I need to know, do I need to protect my daughter and keep her away from him at this point? He's proven to me that he is a danger to me, I know.
Not that we have expert viewers, but earlier in the show I asked my Twitter followers if Gwen and Derek should get back together or just move on, go their separate ways. Well, the results are in. So what about Gwen and Derek's daughter together? Her question was, is he too toxic to be around her? I'll answer that after the break. Before the break, I said I would answer Gwen's question about her 10-year-old daughter with Derek. She asked, is Derek too toxic to be around her? Well, here's the deal. Is he toxic with your daughter?
Yeah.
Is he telling her bad things?
Yeah.
Is he exposing her to bad things?
Lies.
You sit here and say, he's watching father-daughter pornography.
Lies.
He is into
lying.
that. If
You're a
you
liar.
believe that,
Yeah.
and you allow him to be around her, then you are failing your daughter. If you don't believe that and you're saying it, then you're failing your daughter. If you're using that as a sensationalistic way to leverage him, then you're failing your daughter. If you believe it and you ignore it, you're failing your daughter. There comes a point when you need to stop the self-serving rhetoric and you need to start dealing with reality here. Both of you are bad for each other. You do not need to be together. You should not get into a third marriage. If he is toxic for your daughter, then you need to get a therapist and there needs to be an investigation and you need to determine that. If you cannot be healthy in your daughter's life, and that means not bad-mouthing her mother,
Never.
not exposing her to whatever, then you need to not be around her. If you can, then you need to man up and do it. And put your daughter's interest ahead of your own.
I always do.
Well,
Not when you're telling
Always
her. Not
do.
when you're telling her, "Oh, Daddy's so sad, and Daddy loves Mommy so
well,
much," and
is that
showing
not
her
true?
pictures that somebody sent you from.
you do not ask children to deal with adult issues.
No, you don't.
All right, then you don't bring teenagers into adult issues and
They
make them
saw
both
it,
hate
Derek.
me.
Nobody
no, they didn't.
made them hate you.
Sweetheart,
They've
as
seen
soon-
what you've done to me.
Because you showed them everything on there.
Take a good look at me. I'm what's known as a mandated reporter. You
I know what
people
it
are a
is.
danger to this child. I want to thank all of my guests today. I'm going to recommend that both of... Are you in therapy?
Yes.
Stay
Yes, I am.
in therapy. Seriously, get
I am.
help. I mean,
I
you
am.
really do. Are you in
am.
therapy?
I am.
Stool.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't you find it a little creepy that he's that old and still breastfeeding?
No.
Doesn't bother you at all? Doesn't creep you out in any way?
No.
And because when will you stop?
I'll stop when he's actually ready, and he's been in a process of being ready and learning how to wean himself, and that's what we're doing. We're toddler and weaning, so he'll be ready when he's ready.
So you're still doing it, you say 3 times a week, average?
It's a rough estimate, yeah. It's hard
For
to
45
predict.
seconds or a minute?
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it's-
And does he respond to any boundaries about it at all? Do you ever tell him no?
I prompt him because I'm trying to teach him independence, and that's what the whole extended breastfeeding is about. It's giving them the platform to start that they can spring from. So he's depending on me now, and it's going to give him a solid base to go from. So, yes,
He's got an iPad in one hand and you in the other.
that's right.
That just seems incongruent to me. I'm sorry. It does. It just seems incongruent to me. I don't mean it from a sexual standpoint or
Right.
whatever. It just
Right.
seems like there's just no boundary there.
There are boundaries. If we're out and about and he wants that for some reason, I say, do you really need that right now? And I'm his mother. I know him better than anyone, so I know if he needs it or not. If this is a situation where he really can learn to start standing on his own, or if it's something that his world has just collapsed, he's really having a hard time, he's overwhelmed and needs that.
Okay, so you adhere to attachment parenting.
I do.
I mean, that's how you would describe the overall approach that you take.
This is one of the
And there's like 3 steps to that, and
Correct.
one is the wearing the baby, breastfeeding, and the other
bed sharing.
2 children in the
The
bed.
toddler, my son, sometimes goes in his own bed and then joins us later on in the middle of the night.
So this is a family bed, and there's 4 of you in
That's
there.
correct.
Some of the mothers in my audience have strong opinions on attachment parenting. Take a look.
Kids need to hear the word no. Kids need to learn how to deal with rejection. Are we raising children that are going to become really needy adults?
How are the parents ever supposed to have mommy and daddy time when you have the kid in the bed with you?
I feel like the moms are so overbearing that when the children grow up,
the children's going to resent the mom for wanting to know everything and be in their business.
I don't see where boundaries are being taught with baby wrapping and co-sleeping and breastfeeding. It's just so wrong.
We are not parenting perpetual infants. We are parenting children to grow into adults.
Okay, so Heather, go ahead.
Okay, so the thing that I want to make clear is that there's a difference between practicing attachment parent with an infant and practicing them when your child is 4. There's a big difference between that. The way that you attend to a 6-month-old is very different than how you attend to a 4-year-old.
Absolutely agree.
And in the case, what I'm talking about is the case when we're talking about preschoolers and we're talking about toddlers. And when you see the extreme forms of attachment parenting in preschoolers and toddlers, it's a form of psychological abuse. And what I mean by that is because at 4, you see a complete enmeshed form of parenting. And there's no line between where mom ends and child begins. None. The boundaries of surrounding that self that's so important and so crucial to development is almost non-existent.
You're incorrect, and you're not speaking of my son, apparently.
Why do you say she's wrong?
Because my son is well-rounded and balanced. He's not dependent on me in a way that I don't feel that he should be. He comes to me for guidance, for sure, but I am teaching him, the method of parenting that I'm using teaches him to be socially responsible, logical, and empathetic,
You're not going to
intelligent.
see the effects per se right now when your child is a child because he's a child. When you will start to see some of the effects is when they reach adolescence, when they reach adulthood. You'll see that they missed out on those crucial and critical points of development.
Holly, what'd you want to say? You were raised by an attachment mom.
Right. My mom practiced attachment parenting, and from my standpoint, from having gone through it and come out on the other side as an adult, I don't recommend it. At 37, I can tell you that as an adult at 37, I feel like I've spent the last 10 years of my life trying to make up for what I didn't gain as a child through discipline, through boundaries, through separation.
But this is not about discipline and boundaries, I do not feel.
Well, I'm telling you from my
experience,
when a child is when it's child led.
But this is your experience.
This
it's
is
not
my
parenting.
experience, right?
As is yours.
As is your experience. So I'm explaining to you my experience.
And
so my experience as a person that went through attachment parenting, I spent a lot of my years as an adult trying to figure out boundaries, learning the word no. At 37, it shouldn't be hard to hear the word no.
Are you saying that people who don't practice attachment parenting are not doing right by their children?
No.
I was not an attachment parenter, but I didn't always have my kids away from me.
I used strollers too.
They climbed me like a jungle gym.
Right.
I mean, all the time.
Right.
But I didn't wear my kids, and they didn't sleep in our bed unless, it was a special occasion or they were sick or something.
How rested were you and Robin when they were young?
How rested were we?
How rested were you?
Oh, I was really rested. How about
You more than me.
I didn't miss a step. What do you think about that?
I do remember that you never got up in the middle of the night with them, so you were much more rested than me.
No, but now, seriously, you need to be honest
No,
about
I'm being
this.
very honest.
No, hold on.
I don't lie.
No, wait a minute. I'm not lying. I'm just explaining. You have to admit, if those babies so much as chirped in the night, she was like a ninja. I mean, I would turn over and she would levitate, shoot across the bed, and she was out the door. I couldn't. You're too quick. Now, Kathy calls cribs cages. She does it jokingly. She's not being serious about that. But you do think it's confining the child. And she doesn't believe in spanking. Well, I don't either. So on that, we agree. We'll talk about all this when we come back.
Breastfeeding a 4-year-old or toddler is disgusting. They have a full set of teeth.
And later,
I'm a helicopter granny, and I don't care if the kids like it or not. That's how it's going to be. I'll just ease up on the fence. I know she don't care. She loves her mama.
Jamie Grumet is the 26-year-old cover girl for attachment parenting. Attachment parenting for Grumet means sons Aram and Samuel share a family bed, spend 24/7 with their parents.
It feels like
the most safe and nurturing place, and you feel completely loved.
But nursing a nearly 4-year-old for the world to see?
You said people have threatened to call Child Protective Services. They call it sexual molestation.
I think it's a lot of ignorance, and so it's really hard to get mad at that. They're mammary glands, and this is what they were designed for.
We checked in with Jamie, the mom on the cover of Time magazine, and she revealed she is still sporadically breastfeeding her son, who is now 4 years old. Now, Kathy, you think that's fine, no problem with that. Her son is almost 4 and still asks her for the money, which is breast milk, I guess, breast milk. Well, Dr. Jim Sears is here. Dr. Sears is one of the co-hosts of the Emmy Award-winning show, The Doctors. And he is a pediatrician. He's a pediatrician. He's also the son of Dr. William Sears, a well-known pediatrician who is among the leading proponents of attachment parenting philosophy. Now, do you have concerns about sleeping in the bed itself?
I do. You know, as a pediatrician, I have concerns about a mom sleeping right next to her baby if she's not doing it safely, because we worry about rolling over on the baby and accidents, things like that. However, if done safely, if mom is not overweight, if mom's not on the influence of any medications, drugs, including tobacco, then it's usually considered safe.
Well, also joining us is Hera Estroff-Morano, the editor-at-large at Psychology Today magazine. She says that parents who practice attachment parenting are misusing the attachment theory concept. Why do you say that, and what do you think about this?
Well, first, I think that attachment parenting is unnecessary, potentially harmful, in that it creates anxiety in children, as all overparenting does, and particularly separation anxiety. And it's wasteful. If you've got parenting to burn, give it away.
I agree that, overparenting, no matter what your style, is bad for the child. But, having your kids with you in the normal routines of life is actually a great way to get them
This is the
get
way
to
that
know
all
them and
societies
have a good
parent
bond.
their children.
Why do you have to
This is
wear
not-
your children? Why do you have to?
Why do you have
with
to
them?
push your child in a expensive
Why do you
stroller?
always have your children away from you?
Because by the time children become attached, by the time the bonds form, it's about the time the children become mobile, about between 9 months, a year of age. There's a reason for that. Children need the security of attachment. We're not talking about attachment parenting. To begin to explore the world on their
That's exactly what we're doing.
Absolutely necessary.
And you've written a book which I have not read, but I love the title. It's A Nation of Wimps, The High Cost of Invasive Parenting.
We have to remember that the goal of parenting is to raise an independent human being. And that begins at birth, but I mean, it really begins when kids become mobile. And they need their peers. They need the empathy. They develop that from their peers as well as from their parents.
I inspire
I've had
independence.
mothers, back when I was in private practice, I would have mothers that would come in sometimes and say, my child is 7 years old and I have never spent the night away from them.
Oh, yes.
And I would think, that's not something to be proud of.
No.
Right, yeah.
It's important for the child to see that, you know what, mommy goes away and you know what, I survive. And number 2, she came back. So they learn, A, I can do this without her there, and B, when she goes away, she comes back. So I don't have to freak out and have that problem.
I've seen the same
Jim?
kind of thing in my private practice. I deal with a lot of different baby and mom interactions, and yeah, sometimes I see maybe a bond that seems pretty darn strong at age 2, 3, and sometimes I maybe worry just a little bit, but almost all the time, by the time those kids are 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7, they eventually become very independent, very well-rounded, including my kids. They slept in our bed.
Right, Sean, what do you want to say?
The whole thing.
Well, I just believe breastfeeding a 4-year-old, a toddler, is disgusting. I just think that's
Now,
disgusting.
based on what?
Just because
On the child's
they have
size,
they have a full set of teeth.
Okay, but a 1-year-old, but they don't use the teeth. There really is no official time that you have to stop.
Well, here's the thing, though. If you're going to look at it purely from a physiological standpoint, Isn't it true that the child's immune system isn't fully developed until they're 6? And that one of the reasons that breastfeeding is recommended is support of the immune system?
Exactly.
So in that theory, wouldn't you go till 6?
No, you play in the dirt, and that's how you build up your
That
immune
is another way. And that's true. There are studies showing that kids that play in the dirt have stronger immune systems. That's definitely right. But you were right. The studies after studies show that the longer a child breastfeeds, they have a higher IQ, they have better immune systems, they have less risk of respiratory infections
they breastfeed,
and asthma
it's breastfeeding.
and allergies.
Yes.
We have to move on here because we're going to talk about some other phases of life. Next, a new definition of attachment parenting is helicopter. Helicopter Granny Joe. She makes no qualms about jumping over locked gates just to barge into her daughter's house and do an inventory. How's she doing on her housekeeping? What's she got in here that she shouldn't have? So we're going to talk to her when we come back.
I'm a helicopter granny, and I don't care if the kids like it or not. That's how it's going to be.
She does need to back off and get her own life.
My favorite thing is surprising her.
And later,
girls don't even wear their pants that tight. I bet your sister can't even fit them pants. You're about to be 16, looking like you had a 10-year-old pair of pants on.
jumping over lock gates, entering homes unannounced because it's a surprise. Taking items from cabinets. It may sound like I'm talking about a criminal lurking around, but I'm actually describing the behavior of my next guest.
I'm a helicopter granny, and I don't care if the kids like it or not. That's how it's going to be. We live on approximately 900 acres, and I have all my kids right under my foot. They each have their own homes on our ranch. I love having them near me so I can check on them. I am going to Angie's house and to pay a little surprise visit. Make sure she's being a good mama.
My mother is way too involved in my life and my children's lives.
Looks like she's got her lock on her gate again.
She does need to back off and get her own life.
I'll just ease up on the fence. I know she don't care. She loves her mama.
I have installed a security system on one of the gates.
And I'll just climb over.
Nothing is enough to stop my mother.
But my favorite thing is surprising her.
If I'm not at home, I will come home and find notes where she has been in my house and done laundry, washed dishes.
Here's a note. Says, Angie, don't go to bed with dirty dishes in the sink. Love you, Mama.
My mother doesn't think that I should go have an adult beverage with my girlfriends.
I'm going to show you what I do when I find alcohol. This stuff will rot your stomach. And Angie does not need this in her house. I'm not having it. Around my grandkids, let me smell. My God, it smells just like old rubbing alcohol. We're going to just pour that down the sink. She'll never even know it. She's got so much of it. She'll thank me someday when she looks back. I think Dr. Phill is just as protective, probably more so. And I think that's why he gave his son to show the doctors, so he could keep an eye on his son. Dr. Phill can tell me if I'm overstepping my boundaries, but I'm not sure I'm going to listen.
Okay. So that's how it's going to be, huh? You say you have an open door policy, but you're talking about opening other people's doors, not your door. Open door means my door is open all the time. Come right in. You use that to say your door is going to be open all the time, and I'm going to come right in.
Well, that's how I was raised. And if we had family come over, they were welcome anytime. And Angie works hard, and I just go down there and help her out because I try to ease the pressure. She's a working mama, and she's a good mama, and I love her to pieces. But nobody's going to tell me I can't go help her out a little bit.
Even her?
Well, she has never told me that.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I have, and you ignore me.
She never meant it.
Oh, she never meant it?
She never meant it, no.
All right, so...
Never meant it.
Isn't this a little smothering?
It's very smothering. Very.
Has she ever walked in at a really inopportune time?
We closed the door just in case.
You have a special alarm system on the gate, so if she comes through or over, it'll warn
It's
you?
like a doorbell inside my house that'll go off so that I know mom's coming. We call it the mom alert.
The mom alert? Do you know that it's there?
Not till now.
Yeah, but that's okay. She
It's
didn't know you were in
okay.
there dumping out her booze
Yeah.
either.
You know, I just scared for her to drink alcohol.
Yeah, and
But I
how?
don't do it excessive.
No,
I'm 40 years
no,
old.
I just don't want her drinking it, period. I don't
You're
want her
40
drinking
years
it, period.
old.
I will be 40, yes.
And you don't want her drinking alcohol because she's not smart enough to figure out whether she should or not?
No, I just think that alcohol and cigarettes are so
smoke.
bad, and if I die tomorrow, it won't be because I abused my body, and I don't want my girls doing it. Now, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I lost my mother when I was 28-year-old, and I sat back and watched her smoke and couldn't stop it.
Right.
And I know what alcohol does. That's the first thing they ask when you no, she's my daughter, honey, and that makes it. I love her even more.
But she's a different person.
Yeah,
and
I know she's a different person, but she's still my flesh and blood.
I know.
And no disrespect to you, but not Dr. Phill or any other quack's going to tell me how to.
I'm thinking about. I'm looking at that sentence structure, and you say not Dr. Phill or any other quack. So.
No disrespect.
None taken.
And I agree with you 98% of the time.
You just called me a quack.
No. If
Yes,
the
you
shoe
did.
fits, wear it. But I didn't. That's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. We both know that.
Well, unless somebody wrote stupid on my head, you just called me a quack.
No.
Okay, we have to take a break. Joanne's question for me is, do you think I'm smothering my children? Do you think I'm overstepping my boundaries? Well, you're going to hear what this quack has to say when we come back. You said she showed up one time at a party you were having and stared at your guests till they felt so uncomfortable they left.
They left. I thought that they were just drinking too much, to be honest. Running around in their naked bikinis.
They didn't wear those naked bikinis over at your house. Oh, is that right? Great. All right, well, I'm back with Joanne and her daughter Angie, and we're talking about whether or not attachment to your kids can get to a point that it's dysfunctional. And look, I'm a parent. I've got a son that actually is turning 33 today. I have another one that is 25, and here are my boys, Jay and Jordan. Jay on the left, Jordan on the right. They both own their own homes. Jay's married with children. I have never, ever one time shown up at either one of their houses without calling first. Even if I'm just up the street, I'll say, hey, I'm a few blocks away. I was going to come by if you're not doing anything. You say, oh, yeah, come on. And they say, oh, no, we're just leaving, so we'll catch you next time. It's no big deal. Would you appreciate that?
I would love that.
If she called from the four-wheeler? Said, I'm just passing the second Angus cow and I was going to come up. Then you'd like to know that, right?
I would love to know that.
But why would you not do that?
Well, I think political correctness has run amok.
Well, there's a difference between political correctness and courtesy.
Well, in the old days, you didn't call and say, can I come over and see you? You know, my cousins
Sure you did.
No, they didn't. Not
Sure
at my
you
house.
did.
Not where we came from.
Well, I come from where you
No,
come from.
but my family didn't do that. If
You can't pull that Texas card on this boy because I've been.
my family didn't do that. If we were cooking supper and my mother's brother and his family showed up, she'd fry more potatoes, and that's just how it was. She didn't have to have a phone call.
And that would be fine if somebody showed up like occasionally.
Yeah.
Because really, if somebody shows up occasionally, you put on the dog, you kill another chicken, you do something. But if it's every day, like bang, bang, bang,
Well,
you
I
look
spread
up.
myself around with all the kids, so it's not just Angie. Yeah.
Okay, so you do share.
I share. I spread the love.
We all get her every day.
Yeah.
And so this is the deal. It's 3/4 of a mile
Yep.
to Angie's house.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ride that John Deere
I
thing?
sure do.
Yes.
And them kids run out and holler, and they just love seeing Granny come up.
Yeah.
They don't have a choice.
Oh,
Yeah.
now that's not true.
You got everybody right there.
I do. I'm so blessed.
Yeah.
I thank God. I'm a happy camper, and I
Yeah.
thank God for my life.
Yeah. And there is absolutely nothing that I'm going to say that's going to change any of that.
No way.
Yeah, I just figured so much.
But I respect your opinion.
Yeah, I can tell. All right. But would you like a little heads up if she was coming over?
That would be very nice.
Why?
Just so if my husband's laying around with his pajamas on or just in his boxers.
Your husband loves me. He's a good son-in-law. You know,
he would know.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah, just out of kind of preparing if you got somebody
yes,
coming.
Yes.
You know, you
we
put
can
on
be
a-
having a party and look at mom's in the middle.
Yeah, you said she showed up one time at a party you were having and stared at your guests till they felt so uncomfortable they left.
They left.
What was that about?
I thought that they were just drinking too much, to be honest. Running around in their naked bikinis. I just did. Yeah, I thought they were little, and all the, I just thought they need to be a little more conservative.
Well, but the important thing is that they didn't stop by your house.
Yeah, I stopped at theirs. Yeah.
They came over to her house.
Yeah.
They didn't wear those naked bikinis over at your house. They wore them over at her house.
know
Were
they
you
did.
offended?
Did they offend me? No.
She should have been.
I'm sorry?
She should have been.
But she wasn't.
Yeah, I know
So
that.
you came in and made her friends feel uncomfortable till they
I
left.
didn't know I was doing that.
Mom.
Hell, I'm thinking about leaving now, and it's my show. All right, next, a father who says he does not regret publicly shaming his teenage son on Facebook and YouTube.
You can't even pull him up.
It's the skinny jeans video that has gotten 2 million views and a whole lot of viewpoints. We'll be right back.
When I first saw my son, the reaction on my face was, you can't even pull him up. That's ridiculous. Get your behind up there and change them pants.
Well, when my next guest saw a smug look on his then 15-year-old son's face while disciplining him, he called that disciplining him, he decided it was time to teach his son a lesson.
My son came downstairs getting ready to leave the house, and I noticed something didn't look right. I said, nah, stop right there, pull that shirt up. And when he pulled the shirt up, that's when I lost it. First thing I wanted to do was videotape it so that he could see how ridiculous he looked. It looked like you stole a midget pants. When I first saw my son, the reaction on my face was,
my heart dropped because I knew he was going to be changing my pants.
he knew he was in trouble. Girls don't even wear their pants that tight. I bet your sister can't even fit them pants. Big as you is, you about to be 16. Looking like you had a 10-year-old pair of pants on.
In my eyes, the style is, the new thing.
My mother wanted to show it to her friends, so she asked me to upload it to YouTube. It's probably been viewed well over 2 million times. Turn sideways. Squat down. You can't even do it. That's ridiculous.
My father was a military child, and I think he's just trying to teach me the ways that he was taught.
You can't even pull him up.
I'm not mad at my dad for posting that video. It didn't really faze me.
Get your behind up there and change them pants.
Okay, now, so first off, what's your objection to the pants?
The objection is how tight they are and how up under his behind they were, how short they were.
Right.
That's my biggest objection.
And it's offensive to you because why? Because his underwear showing, or because it just looks stupid, or what?
That was the main reason. His underwear showing. I've gotten that from the youth. I asked, why do you wear your pants sagging like that? And one of the response I got was, so I could tell the world to kiss my behind, so they showing their behind. So I just don't like that. I think that's disrespectful. Nobody should be looking at your underwear, especially if they're dirty.
Well, did you have fashion things when you were growing up?
Of course I did. Of course
what did you do?
It wasn't no tight, skinny jeans like that.
Well, what was it?
Probably back then, I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s, probably little bell bottoms and things of that nature. And, I grew up when hip-hop first started, so it wasn't as bad as this. But this is ridiculous.
Yeah?
This is ridiculous.
So did your father object to your music?
Yes.
Did he object to your dress?
Oh, yes. If the way I dress, if I can't wear it to church, then I shouldn't be walking around in the public like that.
Yeah, did he ever drag you down to the town square and gather a crowd up there and say, okay, let me show you just how stupid Levaniel is here. Let me show you what a fool this boy is.
No, it didn't get that far because I knew right off the bat.
Well, what would you have thought if he did?
I probably would. I would have, followed his instructions and did what he told me to do.
Yeah, well, today's town square is YouTube, right?
Yes.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Now, you actually got some support for this.
Oh, yes.
I'll read some of the comments. One of them, awesome. We as dads need to make sure discipline is still in place. There are too many timeout parents out there who are afraid to put in the extra work to keep their brats in line.
Exactly.
Seem like a reasonable father. Okay. More parents need to do this kind of thing. You, sir, are now in the running for Father of the Year. Salute. And then there's the other side.
Of course.
These are the rational people. That man is a bully. Disgusting parenting. This is abuse. How about I stand you up and force you to be humiliated because I don't like what you're wearing?
I disagree.
What do you say to them?
I disagree. That's not abuse. The first thing, and that's my child. And regardless of what anybody else say, even Dr. Phill, all the quacks out there in the world, I'll throw that in. That's my child.
Did y'all meet backstage and talk about this?
That's my child. So whatever I tell him to do, he has to do it. If not, he has to get out of my house.
Humiliation is not an ideal form of parenting.
That's where coming in knowing your child. If I know my child would have been affected mentally by it, then yes, I probably would have went another route. But
well, we're going to hear from him next, and he seems to me to be a very well-grounded young man. He has not got on skinny jeans today. So maybe me talking to you is his revenge for your YouTube.
Might be.
Because there's a whole lot more than 2 million people watching this. So what's going to happen? We'll find out after the break, and we're going to hear what one doctor says about skinny jeans and what Levaniel Jr. has to say. We'll be right back.
it look like you stole a midget pants. How short them pants look, and they up under your behind, and how skinny they are. I bet your sister can't even fit them pants. Get your behind up there and change them pants.
Okay, now, why in the world were you trying to wear a pair of jeans that are size 29 when you're a 34? I mean, just explain that to me.
I like the whole skater look. That's what I'm trying to follow.
Okay, do you have the jeans with you?
I got them right here.
Can I hold them up so I can see them? Good grief. Okay, and so you had those on.
Right.
All right. And you don't like it because it shows his underwear and that's disrespectful.
Yes.
Do you mean to be disrespectful?
Not at all.
Well, you just wanted the look. Why did you want, are you a skater?
Yes, I am.
And so that's kind of the skater's uniform.
Right.
How do you skate if you can't even bend down?
Thank you, Dr. Phill.
No, seriously.
Thank you.
I see these skaters where they get down and they jump up and they turn around, and you would be like, what kind of skater is that? Because, I mean, didn't he have a point when he said squat down, you couldn't even do it?
Right.
So,
I mean, I had like another pair of pants on underneath these. That's why I was so hard to move.
What'd you have on under it?
Some basketball shorts.
Oh, okay. So you were going for the layered look. So, all right. Well, now, Dr. Travis Stork, host of The Doctors, along with Dr. Jim Sears, has a message for Levaniel Jr. Take a look.
Levaniel, your father actually makes a good point. Really skinny jeans could indeed put your manhood in jeopardy. A recent British study found that half of all men experience groin pain in skinny jeans. 1 in 4 admitted to having some bladder trouble. If it's too tight and skinny, it can even affect your reproductive health. And Levaniel, a real squat looks like this, okay? So if you can't do that, your jeans could be too skinny.
Squat down some more. You can't even do it. That's ridiculous.
Yes. All right, now.
Yes.
All right. bottom line, you said this didn't really bother you all that much, true?
Sure.
Did it embarrass you?
No, not really, because it couldn't really recognize me.
Well, they can now. Now, let me say something. Just to kind of bring this full circle.
Yes.
I think anytime you take discipline of your children public, it is a bad idea. I think any time that you use public humiliation of a child to shape their behavior, bad idea. With the advent of YouTube and other social platforms where you can publish this stuff, you used to take a minute, and I've always said you can't take back stupid, but when you're on the internet, I mean, you can go stupid internationally in a hurry.
Right.
So you always have to worry about what you're doing.
Right.
I always think you ought to type this stuff up and then go get something to drink, get a breath of fresh air, come back and see if it still looks right to you before you hit send. I think that's a bad idea. So I just want to tell you, I don't think it's a good idea to ever attempt to shape behavior based on public criticism, humiliation, or whatever. Now, having said that, I also want to say that there are a lot of parents out there that are either really negligent with their kids and don't pay attention, or they're overly harsh and abusive of their children. And so when I look at something like this, I put it in the misdemeanor category of parenting mistakes, because you certainly are not a negligent parent, and you are certainly not a harsh or abusive parent. You're loud, and you yell, and you came up through the military, and so you're kind of used to all of that. But I think you do it in a loving way.
Yes, of course.
And I think you also know your son.
Right.
And I think your son knows who he is. I think he is a very self-possessed young man.
Right.
And so I don't think you're picking on a fragile child here.
Right.
You understand, it's
Of
never a
course.
good deal, never a good idea to humiliate your children in some way. And I don't think that was your intent. You were just
Right, it
trying
wasn't my intent, but at the same time, like you say, Doc, end of the day, I'm responsible for him. I'm responsible to protect him, do everything. I'm his father. So
Okay, you're responsible for him, and
Yes.
you're responsible to him.
That's right.
And so you got to think about both of those.
Yes.
We'll be right back. Well, today, Robin is back to spread a little holiday cheer and some great ideas for stressed out shoppers looking for just the right gift.
I'm having so much fun this week talking about Open Sky, a celebrity shopping website that anyone can join.
Every OpenSky.com insider has their own area of expertise, like kitchen and food, electronics, kids, or home. Robin is the beauty and health and wellness insider for OpenSky.com, which means what?
Well, it means I'm sort of a consultant. I get to share some of the great products that I use and discover that everyone that goes there gets to visit on my page. And I am constantly updating with new products all the time.
Well, as much as Robin loves to research and discover, she really enjoys sharing what she finds with others as much as you do finding them for yourself.
I really do. I really do. And something that is just fun, just so much fun, and it's gorgeous, and it sparkles, and it just screams beautiful. Check this out. Swarovski iPhone case by Crystal Icing. Gorgeous, gorgeous. This case comes in pink or white, and there are over 1,000 crystals on every case.
All right, now, you better calm down, because you're going to get everybody thinking that they get one of these things.
Well, of course they're going to get one of these.
So you're going to give everybody one?
Of course I am.
See how much fun it is to be in the audience? If you want to be in the audience, go to drphil.com for ticket information, or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
I have had so much fun.